Peace, y'all. Jonny Fastlane here. So, unfortunately, last night, Nipsey Hussle was shot and killed in front of his store, Marathon Clothing. Let's talk hip hop. Yo, man, this whole situation is insane. Like, I'm just chilling. I'm on my phone last night, and I'm just looking through like Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, and like I see something, and it says like Nipsey Hussle got shot, and that was it, right? And there was nothing else, no more information. And I'm like, damn, like Nipsey Hussle gets shot? Like, then something else comes out and it says that Nipsey Hussle got shot 6 times, right? And that he's unresponsive, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like looking and I'm looking. I'm like, keep on Googling Nipsey Hussle. And I just see, same thing. Shot 6 times, unresponsive. It's not looking good, like, at all, right? And I'm like, yo, this cannot be true. I wait maybe like 35, 45 minutes, yo. And then all of a sudden, I'm starting to see things like R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle passed away. I'm like, what? Like, this is insane, because imagine, like, Nipsey Hussle is a young, strong, smart, like, grown man. You feel me? It's not like he was like sick or anything. He wasn't like on his deathbed. This was like out of the blue. Like murder or like a car accident is like completely out of the blue, where nothing is wrong with you. You don't even got a hangnail. You don't even got a cold, right? But you don't make it home tonight either. Like, that's insane, yo. Marathon Clothing is his store that he owned. He owned like a bunch of stuff, but like that's one of his stores that he owned. Marathon Clothing was very close to Nipsey Hussle because that's where Nipsey grew up at, like right in that neighborhood. And he used to hang out. It's like a strip mall, so with a parking lot and all that stuff. So he used to hang out like in the strip mall, in that parking lot. And the owner of the parking lot, the owner of the strip mall, used to own one store there, but he used to own like the whole strip mall and rent out the other stores to like, other businesses, whatever. And he used to always kick Nipsey Hussle and his friends out of the strip mall because they would just hang there like all damn day, Nipsey Hussle grew up, ended up buying that strip mall from the guy. And, the guy still owns his own store. He pays rent now for his store. Meanwhile, Nipsey Hussle owns the whole strip mall. So it's funny. Like him and that dude have like a love-hate relationship. I remember watching some documentary about it, and Nipsey Hussle was just laughing and saying like the irony of it all. Like, he used to kick us out and now we own this joint and he got to pay us rent, Damn, man, to be gunned down like at your home, basically, to be gunned down in a place that you're very comfortable at, is ridiculous, man. And I almost wish that Nipsey Hussle would have stayed away from there when old dude kicked him out. Like, yo, let me just leave, and not come back. Nipsey Hussle was always the type of person that would talk about owning your own masters and owning the rights to your music, and being independent. Everything that young Dolph portrayed to be, his persona, Nipsey Hussle really was, right? Nipsey Hussle had been independently putting out hip hop music since like 2008, 2009. That's like when I first heard about Nipsey Hussle, probably like about 10 years ago. He came out with a mixtape, and the nigga Nipsey Hussle charged, I think, like $100 per mixtape, but that's because like he wasn't cutting that slice of the pie with any record label, anything like that. All the money was coming back to him. And Jay-Z bought probably 100 of those mixtapes back then for $100 each, which was dope. Jay-Z knew the vision, saw the vision, and showed Nipsey Hussle love by doing that. And that was back then. Ever since then, Nipsey Hussle has been going hard. Slowly he's been blowing up. He's from California, Crenshaw. And just recently, last year, believe it or not, last year, 10 years into the game, recently last year, he finally signed a record deal, like a major record contract with Atlantic Records, right? So, Cardi B's on Atlantic, Meek Mill, Bad Baby. I think Kodak Black is on there too. So he just signed a deal for a major record deal last year, and then he drops Victory Lap, right? Which was like one of his hugest albums to date, and that's because now he was on a major record label, so it was coming out nationally and internationally. He was saying that a lot of people was asking him like, why now did you decide to sign with a major? And he's like, because you want to reach the masses. You want to reach beyond just being a cool ass dope rapper and businessman from California, but you also want to come to the record labels where you have some leverage, right? If you're going to go ahead and sign, straight off the street, straight off the block, you don't have nothing on the radio, nothing on any streaming platforms, no fan base, and you just want to put it all into the record label's hands for them to bring you a fan base, then that record label, they're going to charge you for that. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to, really respect you and give you the numbers that you feel like you deserve. If you come in the game like young, like De La Soul, and you just happy to see a little check, a little bit of money, then they going to get you. You feel me? But Nipsey Hussle was not like that. When he came in the game, he had leverage because he had already been in the game rapping for 10 years or 9 years. So when he signed with Atlantic Records, they couldn't screw him over. They couldn't tell him, no, we're gonna own this and own that and own that. Yo, Nipsey Hussle owned his own masters. He owned his own music. You know what I'm saying? Atlantic Records, they were just kind of bigging him up, putting him on big shows, giving him big looks, obviously distributing the music for him, but he was good. So even now, if y'all, that he's passed, I'm sure, the streaming spikes are going to go way high. All that money goes to his family, his kids, his girl, Laura London, which is cool. The whole situation is just crazy. This was the type of dude that you never heard, do no funny shit. You never heard do no fugazi type shit. You never heard did no, underhanded, backhanded type stuff. He wasn't no sucker. He wasn't no hoe ass nigga. He was like a real stand-up dude. He was like, one of these real dudes. Last week when I was talking about Skinny from the Nine, when he got beat up at that restaurant, that hibachi restaurant, when he was just sitting there, I was just saying last week, I was like, nobody is gonna press, they might press Skinny from the Nine and they might press Almighty J because they out here looking like victims. They look like suckers. I was like, nobody's gonna run down on the Dave East. Nobody's gonna run down on the A Boogie. Nobody's gonna run down on the Nipsey Hussle. I said those dudes' names as an example of some real ass rappers versus, I'm not saying that Skinny from the Nine or Almighty J are not real. I'm just saying the whole view, the public view, the persona is a little different. You know what I'm saying? And then a week later, something happens to Nipsey Hussle. This is insane. You know what I mean? It doesn't even make no sense, really. So not only me, You know, not only am I upset, but the whole hip hop community is kind of responding to this.
Before we announce this, I just want to say one really important thing. How I usually close my show, I usually thank everybody for opening their hearts to me over the years. I ask everybody to love their neighbor, and the most importantly, love themselves. We wanted to let y'all know that one of our brave soldiers has just been gunned down in Los Angeles, his home, by the name of Nipsey Hussle.
Rest in peace, Nipsey. I love you, Nipsey, my nigga.
We love you, Nipsey. Love you, Lord.
I worked with Nipsey Hussle on his first album and on his first mixtape, and he was a really good brother and a great father, and we really need to stop killing each other and love each other, alright? Thank y'all.
So that was Lloyd, Ja Rule, and Ashanti. And Lloyd is right. Lloyd was on Nipsey Hussle's first album. You feel me? Along with a few other people. And, you know, I never really heard of anybody saying anything bad or negative about Nipsey Hussle. I mean, because he's a stand-up dude. The type of dude that if he's like, yo, can I please borrow $5 from you? Tomorrow he's giving you back $10. Like, just to show you that I appreciate that you gave me this. You know, when he's talking to you, he's not trying to act all super gangster and crippin' and all this stuff. He's really talking to you about trying to better yourself. He was never try to glorify any gang activity or anything. He would talk about, you know, being a business owner, being somebody who wanted to give back to the community. You made millions. You went out there. You brought it back to your community because when you grew up, you saw things that were messed up that you said, if I had money, I would change that. If I had money, I would change this. And so what you did was you took your money and you put it right back into your community. But a lot of times, people in your community don't see it that way. People in your community see it, you know, as you're showing off, as you rubbing stuff in their face, and they don't really see the big picture. You know, this was a father. You know, this was the type of dude that talked about loving your children and passing down your knowledge to your children. And the fact that having children is something that is a huge blessing, even if you're not ready for it, because it changes you. Then you're kind of forced to set a good example for the kids that you're raising because you want them to be good members of society. So you can't go back on your word. You can't, you know, tell your child, oh yeah, I'm gonna do something, and then don't do it, because they'll remember that. And not only will they remember that, they'll mimic it and they'll think that kind of behavior is okay. You know, so this Nipsey Hussle was a guy who had huge morals, like a huge moral compass. You know, this was a dude that, you know, if he was locked up, which he wasn't, but yeah, I'm sure that he would never tell on anybody. You feel me? It's a shame that they took a real one. You know, last year, Steph Curry, who is no journalist, but Steph Curry interview, you know, sometimes they like to put two artists together because it's kind of like they interview each other, like Lil Pump and J. Cole. So, you know, last year, you know, Steph Curry and Nipsey Hussle interviewed each other.
I know you're a father. I got two daughters as well. Like, how we treat their moms is the biggest example of what they should expect when they get to that level. Looking for somebody to share life with. Yeah. You wake up every day like, all right, that's my job.
100%.
That's my job. I get to do that. I don't have to. I get to.
Right. In my case, it brought a better version of me out.
Yeah.
You know, just because I never want to be a hypocrite with my kids and be somebody that preaches it but don't live it. When I realized I was gonna be a father, my life wasn't secure at that point.
Right.
But in hindsight, that's probably the best thing I did was have kids, for real. And seeing their father live a passion as a way of life, I think that has a crazy impact on them in a positive way. Like, when we tell them you can do whatever you want to do, and you know, you can live whatever your dream is, they like, yeah, of course, you're doing it.
I'm trying to instill that confidence right now with potty training. Like, you can do anything you put your mind to, baby.
That's a tough one.
Yo, man, it's a shame because now, what's his kids gonna do? You know, to grow up without a father. I'm not talking about like financially, you know, because, you know, their mother should be alright, obviously. She makes mad money, and by herself, her income is more than the average American's income, 2 or a 3 household income, or 3 income household. So, you know, she'll be alright, but what's gonna happen to the kids and having a good example of a stand-up father figure, you know, because that's a huge loss to the family and to the community, to everybody, because he was such a role model, you know. So last night, actually, Golden State, they played a game, and they told Steph Curry about, you know, what happened right before the game.
Yeah, that was tough. Obviously, it surprised a lot of people. I got to know him last year and had a great conversation about, you know, who he was as a person, what he stood for, what his message was, how he tried to inspire people, considering, you know, where he grew up, and how he turned that into something extremely powerful and represented the entire city. So definitely a sad, tragic event. Obviously, send prayers to his family, his community, to Lauren London, and hopefully they stay strong through this. It's tough. You know, senseless crimes that don't need to happen, especially with a guy that was doing what he was doing. So definitely tough. It's one of those, before the game, try to just, you know, pay your respects the best you can. You know, send the love down there to his family.
Yo, man, so everyone seems like they're like torn up about this. It's crazy because this was like a real good dude, you know what I'm saying? And why would they tell him that, you know, right before the game? Kendrick Lamar was performing on stage last night, and, you know, he paid his respects to Nipsey Hussle too.
Before we got on the stage, we got wind that our brother, our warrior, our soldier, Nipsey Hussle, passed away. So we want to take this time out, truly, to give a moment of silence. Can we do that?
Argentina, did you guys have a good time out there? Hey, Mikey, I mean, we kind of need to stop, but I think we can play one more record. Argentina, would you like to hear one?
Repeat after me. We love you, Nipsey. Let's get it.
Man, yo, this thing is crazy, right? 21 Savage, you know, posted up on Twitter. He goes, real one after real one, SMH. R.I.P. Nipsey, the solid morals you stood on and your legacy will last for life. That was from 21 Savage, right? And 21 Savage, you know, he had a relationship with Nipsey Hussle too. You know, he's going through his own thing. It's just a real shame. G-Eazy posted up a picture and said, I love you, bro. And Meek Mill posted up a picture too. it's crazy because Nipsey Hussle was just in Meek Mill's Going Bad video with Drake, Meek Mill. I think T.I. was there. Like, y'all remember, I was like, yo, shit, I see Nipsey Hussle in the back. I see T.I. in the back. They was all sitting around this big-ass table. They was all dressed in the suits and everything. So that picture that Meek Mill showed was recent, and that was from the Going Bad video with Drake and Meek Mill. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is insane for somebody who is not sick, is not, you know, on their deathbed, is not, it's just out of the blue, it's unexpected, they're young, and then, you know, they wake up in the morning, everything's good, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm chilling, I'm cool, I'm checking on my businesses, and you don't get to go home tonight? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's insane to me. Lil Boosie, man, has said, you know, notoriously, he said back in the day, you know, a couple years ago now, he's like, everybody will die in their own hood, right? You will die trying to be back in your own hood, trying to help out your own hood, trying to keep it real. He said that he had to move out of Louisiana for, you know, him to stop being harassed by the police, by just people you grew up with, by, you know, he said that you grow up with somebody and then you blow up and you become a millionaire, and that person that you grew up with is jealous that person was in, you know, second grade or third grade class with you, but they don't have the same grind as you do. He was saying, like, that person, you know, will go to the store and then be playing your song in the store. You know, that person will get home and then the kids are dancing to your song when they walk into the living room. You get in the car with your partner and your partner's playing that song. And then you just develop a hatred. The words that he used specifically, he said, you're hypnotized with hate, is what Boosie was saying. And a lot of people who grow up in your city, in your town, in your community, who know you on a personal level, who would hate to see you jump off like that, or because they know they come from the same cloth and they feel like, why do you deserve that kind of superstardom and they didn't get that kind of superstardom, even though their hustle ain't like yours, even though their grind is not like yours, even though their work ethic is not like yours, even though their knowledge and education is not like yours. They feel like they deserve what you have because they came from where you came from. That's all y'all got in common, where y'all came from. Nothing else, but they feel like they deserve what you have. You know what I'm saying? And then DJ Vlad, kind of always agreed with Boosie when he said that, and does not, you know, hesitate to point out when a rapper gets killed in their own hood, in their own community, and where they grew up at. You know, and it happened to Bankroll Fresh. It happened to XXXTentacion. It happened to, you know, just Young Greatness. It happened to so many people who get killed in their own hood, in their own community. And again, it happened yesterday when it happened to Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle, only two people that it didn't happen to is Biggie and Tupac. Biggie was all the way in California, even though he's from New York, and Tupac was in Vegas. But other than that, pretty much every other rapper that gets killed in their own hood. You know? And Nipsey Hussle was in his own hood, where he always is, and in an environment that is comfortable for him, where he knows everybody, where everybody knows him, where he gives back, where I'm sure little old ladies from the community have access to him who could just walk up to him and say hi. So if there's a hater, if there's somebody in your hood that has access to you as well, they could walk up to you and say whatever they want to say or do whatever they want to do too. You know? OG, Triple OG, Noriega even responded to this.
You know what I noticed? That keeping it real might be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Everybody always say, you know, you make money, you leave the hood, you come back to the hood, you invest in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Put your homies on, you do everything right, keeping it real. Well, that's exactly what Nipsey did. Nipsey went, he left the hood, came back. He didn't build a store in Beverly Hills in Malibu or anything like that. He built a store in his hood and kept it real, had his niggas around, had his people around. And guess what? Keeping it real got him. This is crazy. I bet it was somebody who looked just like him who did it. This guy played the game right. He did everything right. There was nothing. You never heard of him snitching. You never heard of him being a sucker. You never heard of him doing no bullshit. He played the game right. And where is he at? Keeping it real. I think that we was growing up, and I think keeping it real was actually keeping it wrong. Rest in peace, Nipsey.
Damn, yo. Noriega is dead right, yo. It's like, you want to do right for your community. You want to do right for your people. You want to help out. I mean, because you grow up in the community. You see what's wrong, and no matter how much a politician or somebody could be like, "Oh, we're gonna fix this," or sell you all kind of empty dreams. You know what your hood needs. You know what your neighborhood needs. You know that the church over there needs a new bathroom. You know that this grocery store is so far and deep off of the highway that by the time they get deliveries of certain frozen goods, the frozen goods are spoiled. So that you know that you need a grocery store that's a little bit closer to a main highway. You know what it is that your neighborhood needs. So he was trying to fix those things. But one man can't move the world, yo. And it's admirable for you to try, but you could get tangled up. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think about this tragic situation in the comments down below. I'm just doing one news story today because that is enough. I'll get back to y'all tomorrow. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me at Jonny Fastlane on everything. Instagram and Twitter. That's JONNY Fastlane. And y'all already know what to do. Peace.